welcome back to today's video. So we're doing a makeup look today. We are going to be testing out and using a bunch of new makeup. I kind of just wanted to sit down today and film like myself getting ready, testing out a bunch of new makeup because I have a lot of stuff here that I've been dying to try anyway. So I thought I'd sit down today. I'm actually planning on filming some other videos today. So I figure why not sit down, test out a bunch of new makeup today and kind of chit chat, because as you can see, my background is changing here. So things are changing and I'm going to give you guys a little, life update. We're just going to chit chat about, just stuff. So I don't do that very much. I don't usually do chit chat videos, but today we're going to do that. So if you want to see how I got this look using a bunch of new makeup and have a little girl like hang out chit chat time, and then just keep on watching. All right, so let's get started with our primer for the day. I'm going to be using the Glow Minerals Mattifying Primer. I am so glad Glow Minerals just came out with this primer because I have been loving it. I talked about it in my recent favorites video. It is good for your skin ingredients. There's actually not even many ingredients to it, which I love, and it really helps to control the shine and oiliness throughout the day. And I actually just saw this on the back, which I didn't even know before. It says you can actually gently pat over your makeup for touch-ups throughout the day as well. So it's awesome. I absolutely love it. It comes out in this great like gel kind of, I don't know, like gel consistency. And I'm just gonna take a little bit of this and we're just gonna apply this on the T-zone. It's really the only place where I need to be kept matte throughout the day. So I just take a little bit and just run it over that T-zone area. So for our foundation today, I want to use something completely new. I just picked this up at Whole Foods actually. It's by the brand Zuzu Luxe. It's an oil-free liquid foundation. It's an all-natural foundation. It's mineral-based and it's good for your skin. So I really want to test this out. And you know me in foundations, I am always up to test a new foundation, especially when it's good for your skin. So we are going to put this to the test today. It's supposed to be, let's see what it says. It's supposed to be a medium to full coverage. It's an oil-free medium to full coverage liquid foundation that covers skin imperfections flawlessly. It says our advanced formula provides a weightless finish designed to improve the look of your natural undertones of your skin. Let's put this to the test. I picked it up in the shade L14, which looked like a pretty good match. And I'm just gonna put it on the back of my hand. I'm gonna use a beauty blender with this. And then I am just going to start applying to my skin. I think I'm gonna like go in small sections because it kind of feels like it's gonna dry a little bit fast. I don't know, I'm just kind of thinking that for some reason. So I'm just gonna take it in small sections and just apply it like that, just to be sure, since this is the first time I'm using it. I have no idea how this is working. It really feels light on the skin though, that's for sure. Like it feels extremely light and the coverage so far is really pretty. All right, so that color match actually is perfect for my skin. That's the L14, that's perfect. There's no tackiness at all. It dries down super fast on your skin. Let me see up close. It definitely looks like skin. You don't see anything sitting in your pores or on top of, your lines or just on top of your skin. It looks good. It really blends in nice. And it looks good. So far, so good. It definitely is super lightweight on my skin. Like I don't feel a thing, which I love. So now that I have my eyebrows microbladed, it's so super easy. I'm just gonna take my brow wiz and all I'm gonna do is just go through a little bit just to kind of go through and just, just spruce them up a little bit more. I am gonna go back for one more touch up, I think, because this eyebrow faded a little bit more on the top than this one, and she said probably one more touch up is gonna be necessary for me because I've been such a bleeder. So I'm gonna go back for one more touch up, and I think I go back in like a week or two. So I'm gonna do that soon, but I am just gonna run my brow wiz just really quick through just to fix them up perfectly here. Okay, so now we can move on to our eyes, and now is where I can chit chat a little bit more. When I'm like doing my face and like looking at a foundation and studying a foundation, it's hard for me to like concentrate and talk about anything else. So now we can chit chat a little bit. And as you guys probably noticed, my background is starting to change a little bit. I am in the process of moving. Yes, I'm moving once again. So things are being moved out. The people that own this house, their furniture, like that chair right there, that is not mine. Their furniture is being moved back into the house. So basically, Brianna and I rented this house. We've been in here now for 6 months, just about 6 months. We rented this house because we really wanted to decide, moving out here, where we want to live out here. There's so many different locations and so many different areas that we really, liked. Coming out on vacation and stuff, we knew certain areas that we really liked. We just didn't know where we wanted to live. So we rented this house, and it was funny because when we moved out here, both my mom and Brian's mom. My parents live in Georgia, Brian's parents live in Florida. So they're both on the East Coast, so when we were talking about moving out here, both my mom and his mom were like, do not buy just rent. You know, you can always move back, or you could always, you know, you don't know what area you're gonna like. And at the time, Brian and I were like zoned in on this one house that we really, really liked. It was so pretty. We were gonna buy it. And we were going back and forth. We're like, should we listen to our moms? Should we just buy this like beautiful house? And we listened to our moms, which mom always knows best. I should know this by now myself. And it's true, definitely our moms, you know, were completely right. Like, take your time, like figure out where you want to be type of thing, and just see if you like it out there at all. Both of our moms constantly were saying this. We're like, Mom, okay, we're gonna be fine. We, you know, we've been out there multiple times. We love it, all this type of thing. And fast forward 6 months later, we are moving back to Georgia. Yay! And I'm so excited. I can't wait. We're building a house and it's gonna be ready at the end of June. So that is when we're moving out and moving back to Georgia, and I cannot wait. So before I keep rambling and not doing any makeup here, which is so insanely hard for me to like talk and do makeup at the same time. But anyway, I'm gonna apply the Dolce & Gabbana, the Cream Mono Eyeshadow in Nude as my base today. So I'm just gonna get some of this on my brush and just go over the eyes. So basically, like I was saying, my mom, Brian's mom, was totally right about renting a house first, just, you know, in case you just don't know. And when you move somewhere, you just don't know the area as well as you think you do, even though, you know, we've been out here on vacations so many times. We have friends out here that live out here, you know, and obviously told us about the area and just told us, you know, the best places for our kids and certain things like that. So we had some guidance like that. But it's completely different when you live somewhere. That is one thing that I've totally learned out of this whole experience. Basically, I have wanted to live out in California here since the time I was probably in middle school. I remember saying to my mom growing up, I'm gonna live in California one day. I'm moving out there. You know, I love the ocean. I love the weather. I am gonna be out in California one day. I would tell my mom this all the time. I remember like looking at like the weather channel like on my computer at the time, but back in like middle school, and like looking up like California weather and thinking like, I am gonna be there. Like, I am gonna live there. So it's always been like, this has always been where I wanted to live ever since I was like in middle school. Coming out here on vacations, bringing my kids out here for vacations and everything. It's just always, you know, it's beautiful. What is not to love about California? It's absolutely beautiful. The beaches are beautiful. There's so much shopping and so much restaurants that are amazing. Like, I am surprised I am not like 100 pounds heavier, because the food here is to die. There's restaurants on every street around here that are just so amazing. So there's so many things to love, obviously, about living here. And I didn't realize how much I was gonna miss Georgia until I was out here. So hold that thought. I'm gonna use the RMS. This is the Bariti bronzer. This is that cream bronzer. I'm gonna actually use this on my eyes today. Okay, I'm just gonna take that same brush. I'm just gonna get a little bit of this and apply this onto the lid today. It's seriously like the perfect bronzy eyeshadow too. Don't you love products where you can get more than one use out of them? It's just perfect. So I don't even remember where I stopped and what I was saying. But basically, yeah, I wanted to live out here since I was a kid. I told my mom I was gonna be moving out here one day. She was not happy about that. My family is very close. Like, when I moved to Georgia back, oh my gosh, I lived in Georgia for like 11 years. So the reason we moved to Georgia in the first place, I'm from Pennsylvania, Brian is from New Jersey. So we are both, you know, Northeastern. Growing up, you can probably tell by my accent. People say that all the time. They're like, are you from New York? And I'm like, close. Basically, we're from the Northeast. I am super close to my family. We've always been very close. My mom, my dad, my sister, all of us, very close. And about, I guess, yeah, I mean, I was in Georgia for 11 years, and then before that, we were up, you know, in the Pennsylvania area. Brian and I lived in Pennsylvania together in our little townhouse. That was our first place. That's where, you know, we were in Pennsylvania by the King of Prussia Mall. If you guys are from that area, the King of Prussia Mall, oh my gosh, it was so good. And at the time, Brian's job required him to move. He was in sales, and his sales territory got moved to the southeast. And it was before we got married, it was anything like that. And I just remember him telling me, like, we have to move to Atlanta. And I was like, what? I was like devastated. I was like, one, I didn't want to leave my family. It's where I grew up. I was always in Pennsylvania. It's what I, you know, was used to. But I remember thinking to myself, like, oh my God, I'm going to live in Georgia? Like, I don't want to live in Georgia. I don't want to live in the South. I just remember thinking to myself, like, I am not that Southern girl. I'm like very fast paced. I'm like New York, fast paced, like on the go, like, you know, and you think of like Southern, like laid back and like, you know, everything I wish I was, but I'm not. So I was just like, I was like dreading. I was like, I cannot be living in Georgia. Like I was like devastated. So basically, yes, we moved down to Georgia and, you know, started our life there. We ended up getting married. We got married in Florida, but we started our life in Georgia. I had my kids in Georgia. Like everything is in Georgia. You know, we started our business in Georgia. You know, you just build your life somewhere. And I think it's harder to move the older you get because you have like a life rooted somewhere, you know, and I honestly didn't realize that until I moved. I'm just using my Visart matte palette here. This is like the neutral mattes, and I'm just gonna take some of this and blend it into the crease here. I'm gonna kind of take these darker tones and just kind of blend them on the outside a little bit here. But yeah, so you kind of, you know, you start your life somewhere and you end up, you know, building roots and you don't even realize it until you leave it. Like I honestly didn't think I was gonna miss Georgia so much until I left. You know, going from Georgia to California, you're thinking like, California is so glamorous, so beautiful, the beaches, this and that. But it's like now I miss my little like, you know, country feel, like my country music, my, just like that whole family feel is completely different in Georgia than it is here in California, at least kind of where I am here. I just think growing up for my kids is different in Georgia versus how it would be here. I mean, here, from what I have experienced in the area that I am here, and by no means am I like, don't take offense to this if you're living in California and thinking like anything different. Like this is not by any means like saying anything bad about people around here or California in general or anything. It's just my personal, how I feel. But I just feel that in Georgia, people were very like family oriented, where in the neighborhoods, you know, everyone was kind of friends and you'd have neighborhood block parties every summer and everyone would, you know, play together. All the kids would play together. You know, you do your homework after school and the kids would run outside and play with their friends in the neighborhood and then call them in for dinner type of thing. And here in California, it's not like that at all. Like everybody is very secluded and very private and everybody lives behind gates and there's no kids out playing, and it's very different, like completely different than what I have grown up and how my kids have grown up and what my kids are used to. And you wouldn't know that until you live out here. So that was kind of a big shock for me, is just the fact that it's so private. Like it's just so different. I'm used to being friends with my neighbors and going over to each other's house for wine after, you know, work and just getting together like that. And nobody does that. Like I could not even tell you the last time I saw one of my neighbors. Like they don't come out of their houses. So that's like the one thing that I miss a lot for, you know, for myself and especially for my kids though. Like I want them to be able to go out and play with their friends after school. You know, that was always the rule. Do your homework first, then, you know, going out and play with your friends. You know, I loved having their friends, you know, ringing on the doorbell after school, you know, knocking on the door, like constantly the doorbell ringing, you know, and it just doesn't happen around here. There's just no one. I'm just taking this darker shade and just kind of going over the outer V part just a little bit there. So it's that fact, you know, just little things like that, you know, neighborhood wise, that I miss. But I miss my family so much. I miss my mom, I miss my dad, I miss my sister. I haven't seen my sister this entire 6 months. And, you know, my niece, my sister's daughter, I love her to death. She's like my daughter as well. So not seeing her for the 6 months has been really hard. And just my kids and her daughter are so close, you know, so I miss that. Like all things that I didn't realize. I mean, I guess sometimes I think back and I'm like, God, like how did I not think of this stuff first? But when you are like you have like such a plan, I guess, in your mind, or like that dream in your mind, you just kind of, I don't know, you just don't see straight right away until you're in the situation. But I can't go like seeing my sister like once a year or seeing my parents like twice a year. Like that just doesn't work for me. So just missing my friends and, you know, going into Premier Look. If you guys follow me on Snapchat, I used to like show you guys like how much fun we would have in the office there. Like I just miss them so much. Like the people that work for Premier Look are like family to Brian and I. Like we love them. They're like part of our family. They've watched my kids and babysat my kids. Sue has been there for absolutely everything for me. She came over to my house at like midnight when I had to take my cat to the emergency vet. Like she stayed while my kids were sleeping. So just everything, like just all those people in my life I just miss so much. Okay, I think I just blended that eyeshadow to death there while talking. Let me go and do some eyeliner quick. I'm gonna take the 100% pure, the eyeliner pencil. That is so good, you guys. This is so insanely good. It's so creamy. And I usually don't like actual pencils. I usually like twist up pencils, but this is so creamy and so long lasting. I absolutely love it. And it's all natural, you know, all organic ingredients. Just like research some of the things that are in our makeup and it is shocking, like absolutely shocking. So it's crazy. So I've been really enjoying testing out a lot of more organic and natural makeup products because they're just, you know, you can find some really amazing things. I've been loving it. So I'm gonna use this pencil today, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna actually find a mirror here. I'm just gonna line my lash line with this pencil, and then I'm gonna kind of blur it out, like blend it out a little bit with some eyeshadow. Then taking this little kind of pencil brush here, I'm just gonna dip it into a darker eyeshadow color and then go over the lash line and that pencil that we just put in. We're just gonna kind of like smudge it together. All right, then taking that same 100% pure pencil, I'm gonna tight line and just push this right into the waterline of my lashes. So it's been like a crazy, you know, emotional last 6 months. Brian and I just deciding what we want to do. You know, there's so many things that we love about out here, but there's so many things that we miss out there. Me more than Brian. There's like just so much that I miss out in Georgia. And like even from like stupid things, like I miss my doctors out there. I miss like my nail place that I went to. I miss my kids' school. Like I miss their school so much. Like just the teachers and just the people there, like it's family. And you know, I think everything happens for a reason too. Like I don't regret moving out here in the slightest. Like we met some amazing people. I made some new friends. Like my kids made some amazing friends that I know they're gonna stay in touch with. And you know, being out here, we got to see the Grand Canyon. We went to Utah, we went to Vegas. My kids were in Hawaii, and that's all things that we've done because we're over here now and it's a lot easier to travel to. So do I regret coming out here? Absolutely not. I think it's, you know, I think it was actually a great experience, and it actually made me learn a lot about myself and what I want as well, which I think is invaluable. So anyway, I'm just going to curl my eyelashes, get these lashes big and curled, and I am going to be using the MAC Hot and Naughty Lash Mascara. This is almost gone. I'm like using up the very last drop. I just bought a new one to replace this one because this is seriously the best mascara ever. If you have not tried this mascara yet, I'm not even kidding. If you like the false eyelash look, pick up this mascara. It is so, so good. So like I was saying, you know, things happen for a reason. I truly, truly believe that. And as much as Brian and I love it out here, both of us, like I said, we are excited to get back to Georgia for sure. That is definitely where my heart belongs. It belongs in Georgia. I guess I'm a little country girl at heart, but I miss all of that. I don't know, I just miss all of that country homey feeling. So that is where we are going at the end of June. And the funny thing is, like I said, we love it out here. Like we love the beaches. We love the restaurants, we love the shopping. Like there's so much that we love that's out here at the same time that we just found this cute little condo on the beach in Laguna and we bought it. So we are gonna stay, you know, like this will be like our vacation home out here for like the summers, bring the kids back out here. And that way they can like hang out and see their friends that they've made out here because, you know, as much as they love their friends in Georgia too, and they're super excited to get back to like their school and their friends out there too, they've definitely made some really good friends out here that they want to keep in touch with now too. So they can see them like when we come back out, you know, in the summer times and just, you know, like a vacation house basically. I get to move back to Georgia, be with my family, be with like my friends and just everything that I love out there, but then, you know, have kind of like my place out here at the same time. So I think for me, it's like the best of both worlds and I'm super excited. I'm gonna take my marula oil, I'm gonna dab some of this under my eyes because my eyes just are feeling a little bit dry right now. That's the other thing. I miss the humidity and the heat of Atlanta. Like I had no idea that California, like at least where I am, I'm in Newport Coast, so I'm like literally right on the beach here. It's cold, like it's cold, like it's in June, like we're going into June now, beginning of June here, and it's still like in the low to like mid 60s, and then at night, I don't even know what it gets down to at night, but it's cold, and I'm so not used to that. I'm so used to like the humidity, and You know, I was just talking to my mom the other day. She's like, it's like in the mid 80s. And I'm like, oh, I miss that. Like my blood must be so southern now because I am like freezing here. There's people in bathing suits at the beach and I'm like in a sweatshirt because I'm like cold. Like I'm like, do these people think like the mid 60s is hot to go to the beach? I'm like freezing. I need it to be like in the 80s. But that's what's so funny too, just talking about like the weather here in California. And whoever talks about, like nobody ever told me about this June gloom or this May gray. Like what in the world is that? If you guys live out here in the coast area, you know probably exactly what I'm talking about. It's like overcast the entire month of June. Where like, if you guys can see outside right now, I can't even see the ocean. And usually I have like a gorgeous view of the ocean. It's completely overcast. It's completely gray out. And that goes from like May, like mid-May until like the end of June. It's just complete overcast. Like you don't see much sun. Like the sun will come out a little bit between the hours of like 3 o'clock and maybe 5:30, and that's it. And then it goes to overcast, and then you wake up to some more overcast grayness, which I had no idea about. Like nobody told me about that until we moved out here, and they're like, oh, be prepared for May gray and June gloom, and I'm like, what? Where's the sun? Like what? That's not supposed to happen here in California. So I am much missing my like humidity and my heat. Like again, I never thought I'd be missing humidity as much as I am, but I will tell you, my skin misses the humidity. My under eyes miss the humidity. I can tell a difference with my under eyes being more dry, being out here, than when I was in Georgia, for sure. Like I don't tell much of a difference, like in my skin dryness wise, other than I can see a difference in my under eyes. Like my under eyes do feel more dry since being out here. So I'm excited to see them kind of plump back up with that humidity, definitely. I'm just taking my Giorgio Armani Master Corrector, the #1 shade, and just patting it right over that oil and just blending that into my skin just to cancel out those little dark areas and this vein, this annoying vein under my eye, which I'm actually really excited to get back to Georgia as well, because the laser place and the dermatologist that I was going to out there, that's where I started getting my V-beam treatments when I was out there, if you guys remember. That place was absolutely amazing, and she had told me, the dermatologist there had told me that there's a specific laser that she can use to like laser away this annoying green vein that I have under my eye. So I'm thinking that when I go back, I might actually do that and try it, because I swear, like as I'm getting older and like, you know, your eyes, your skin thins under your eyes as you age, I'm seeing more and more of that annoying little green vein, and I want it gone. So moving on to actual concealer now, I'm going to be using the Sicily Photo Concealer. This is in the #1 shade. I absolutely love this concealer yet. This is so good if you have more mature skin and have darkness under your eyes, because it really covers up, it doesn't budge, and it doesn't crease all day. And there's some good skincare benefits to using this concealer as well. So it's just one that I really, really love. I did a full review and demo on the Sicily concealer too, you might remember. So I'm just gonna pat this under my eye, and then taking my beauty blender, where is my beauty blender? Where the heck is my beauty blender? All right, my beauty blender completely disappeared. I mean, I know it's a mess in here, but the mess just ate up my beauty blender. Take this little e.l.f. one that I have sitting here. This is like the little e.l.f. beauty blender kind of. It came in like a pack of 3. It's actually pretty decent for the under eye. It's like a good size. So this will do the trick for now. This was kind of laying in my pile here. I actually really like this little e.l.f. one though. It's really good. It kind of gets around like the corners of your eyes. Like this is one area I always have issues like with my beauty blender getting like in the corner there, which is actually much needed because I always have darkness there. This little size gets in perfect. This is bigger, I feel like, than the beauty blender small ones, but you know, obviously still small, which I really like it. Do you see how brightening that concealer is? Like it completely like awakens your under eye, and it'll kind of, I know it probably looks extra like light and bright under my eyes right now, but once we have everything else on, it'll look good, but it just really brightens up that under eye. It's so, so nice. So now we are gonna try this. This is the Well People. I got this again at Whole Foods. It's the Well People Bio Brightener Invisible Powder. It's the Universal Glow shade. So it's supposed to be a nice translucent setting powder. It is all organic, natural, non-GMO, cruelty-free, and advanced performance. All right, so we are gonna get some of this to set our eyes. I'm gonna use that same brush that I did in my under eye video, that IT Cosmetics brush. And again, I don't even know if I'm mentioning all the products I'm using because I just keep talking. I'm gonna link everything down below for you guys in the description box as well, in case I'm forgetting to mention what I'm using or what I'm doing. I'm just gonna take this, I'm gonna set just right under the lash line. I wanna set the T-zone as well. So I'm gonna pick up another brush and I'm going to get some of this on my brush. This is the Wayne Goss number 2 brush, I want to say. Tap off any excess. Powder's really nice. It's like really silky and really light. I want to see what that powder looks like up close. Oh, I like it. It like blurs why do I have a crumb in my eyebrow? It blurs your skin really nice. Oh my gosh, I am really liking that powder. It doesn't look like powder at all on your skin. Like I see no powder on my skin at all. Okay, that powder's good. I can tell a lot of times right away with powder if I'm gonna like it, or if it sits on the skin weird or anything like that. That one I can tell I really like. So now that we have that in place, let's move on to the Becca palette. This is the Becca and Chrissy Teigen palette. I wanted to use this today because I got this as a PR while I was away in Hawaii, and I showed you guys this on Instagram, and so many people were like, yes, yes, use it in a tutorial. I want to see what it looks like. So what I didn't know is I was thinking that it was the same as like the Jaclyn Hill one with like the 2 blush colors and the 2 highlighters, but someone actually pointed out to me, they're like, no, the one's a really, really pretty bronzer. So we got a bronzer, we got a blush, and then we got 2 highlighting shades. So let's just play with this today and kind of see what happens. So I am gonna pick up some bronzer first. This is always so funny because you get such like a small size bronzer, and I literally use like the biggest bronzer brush ever. But this bronzer brush is life. I am telling you, the best. So we are just gonna dip this big brush into this little pan here, swirl it around. The funny thing is, like it always picks up like the right amount of product no matter how big or small the pan size is. Brush is just perfect. So I'm gonna take this and just kind of start sweeping it around. Ooh, it is a pretty bronzer. That's a nice bronzer. Do you see that? Like that's really, really pretty. Ooh, I like that. And you know what we forgot, which I always seem to forget while I'm making videos? We gotta finish our under eye. Why do I literally forget to do that every single time I do a tutorial? All right, we're gonna smudge some eyeshadow under the lash line. Just going back into my VisArt palette here. I'm gonna pick up some on this Hakuhodo brush. This is the one that I always use. I always get questions about what brush I use to smudge the under eye, and this brush is just the one I always use because it's so soft and it literally smudges eyeshadow better than anything else I've tried. It just like makes it perfect, and it doesn't tug or scratch up the skin under your eyes. Like I have tried so many brushes where it's like scratchy and it kind of like hurts to like smudge things under your eye. And smudge things under your eye. Like what in the world would you be smudging under your eye? But you know what I mean, smudge eyeshadows. Like it just like hurts. So this one is so soft and just is perfect. Okay, so now that we got the eyes completely done, now let's move back to the face. Let's take this gorgeous blush that's in this Becca palette. It looks like this. It's like a beautiful pink tone. It's really pretty. So let's try this as our blush today. Usually the Becca blushes are always pretty pigmented. So, oh, Becca blushes, look at that. Becca blushes are so, so pretty and so good. Like the formula is so good. That is gorgeous. All right, and then let's finish off with one of the highlighter shades. There's 2 different highlighting shade options in here. Beach Nectar and Rose Gold. I'm gonna go for the Beach Nectar. The Beach Nectar one is this one right here that has like the Becca name on it. So, ooh, that looks pretty. It looks kind of pinkish. Let's go for it anyway. Oh, wow, that's pretty. Super, super pigmented. Wow. All right, we're just gonna sweep and blend that in a little bit because, like I said, that is really pigmented. That is so pretty though. That color is gorgeous. It's kind of like a, I don't know, it's like a little bit of a peachy tone on your skin. It's really pretty. All right, so we're moving on to our lips and we are almost done. I feel like this video is gonna be so long and I am so sorry because we just chatted and like, I don't know, we hung out for a while today. So we are just going to finish up here. I'm gonna take the Charlotte Tilbury Iconic Nude. And then I was actually sent this. It's the Dior Addict Lip Glow. It's a Color Awakening Lip Balm. This is super nice. I actually tried this out the other day, just like when I was running errands, because it's just like a lip balm. But when you apply it, it kind of like smooths out your lips. And then you can leave it on just by itself and it kind of brings out like a really pretty just pink tone to your lips naturally. And you don't need anything else. But I just wanted to kind of use it as like a primer today because it really like primes and like smooths everything, which I really like too. But I really want to use this too today. So we're just going to kind of layer some lip products up. This is the new Chantecaille Lip Sleek It's in the shade Flamingo. So it looks like this, and you kind of push it up and then it comes out like this. A lot of lipstick companies, or a lot of makeup companies I should say, have lipsticks that are like coming out in like little forms like this. So this one I'm just gonna push up. This shade is so pretty. I cheated, I did use this once before and it's so beautiful. It was actually in a past video of mine that I wore this, and it's so pretty. So it's kind of like a lip gloss and a lipstick in one, where it's like super creamy and glossy. Oh my gosh, and it makes your lips feel like amazing. So before I zoom out, here is our look for the day. I actually really like how it came out. Like everything looks super pretty. I will leave in the description box how this foundation wore throughout the entire day, because right now I really like it. It honestly feels like nothing is on my skin, like at all. It feels really nice and it looks really nice too. So in the description box I will leave, you know, how it wore throughout the day. All right, so that is it. Thank you so much for watching. If you stuck around to the end here, thank you so much, because I feel like this video is going to be super long. It's probably going to be all over the place. I have no idea how this video is going to go, but I do appreciate you hanging out with me, doing a little chit chat. I don't normally do videos where I kind of like chit chat about, I don't know, like personal stuff really, because it just opens, you know, the more you open up your life, you just bring in like the negative people and just comments and all that stuff. But you guys are gonna be seeing a new beauty room soon. I'm gonna be setting that up as soon as I get back to Georgia in our new house. I cannot wait. So that's pretty much it. That is my life in a nutshell right now. Got a lot going on. Gonna continue to make videos for you guys. So if you're watching them, I will be making them. So anyway, thank you again so much for watching. Thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.